Section 3:2 Introduction to Beta. Evaluating investment opportunities. Beta can be used as a risk measure to assess the risk-return trade-off of an investment. It helps investors understand how an asset's systematic risk, as measured by its sensitivity to market movements, relates to its potential returns. Here's how beta can be used to assess the risk-return trade-off. Quantifying systematic risk. Beta measures an asset's systematic risk, which is the portion of its total risk that cannot be diversified away. A higher beta implies higher sensitivity to market movements, indicating greater potential for both positive and negative returns. Conversely, a lower beta suggests lower sensitivity to market fluctuations and potentially lower volatility. Relationship to market returns. Beta allows investors to evaluate how an asset is expected to perform relative to the overall market. A positive beta greater than 1 indicates that the asset is more volatile than the market, potentially offering higher returns but also exposing investors to greater downside risk. A positive beta less than 1 suggests the asset is less volatile than the market, offering potentially lower returns but with relatively lower risk. Risk-return analysis. Beta provides a framework to assess the risk-return trade-off of an investment. It helps investors evaluate whether the expected returns of an asset adequately compensate for the level of systematic risk it carries. Higher beta assets may offer higher potential returns, but they also come with greater risk. Conversely, lower beta assets may offer lower potential returns, but they tend to exhibit lower levels of risk. Portfolio construction. Beta plays a crucial role in portfolio construction by allowing investors to diversify their investments based on risk preferences. By combining assets with different beta values, investors can achieve a desired risk-return profile. They can allocate a higher percentage to assets with higher betas if they seek higher returns and are comfortable with greater volatility. Conversely, they can allocate a larger portion to assets with lower betas if they prioritize capital preservation and seek lower volatility. Risk-adjusted performance. Beta can be used to assess the risk-adjusted performance of an investment. By comparing an asset's actual returns to its expected returns based on its beta, investors can evaluate whether the asset has provided returns commensurate with the risk it carries. This analysis helps investors identify investments that have outperformed or underperformed relative to their systematic risk. It's important to note that beta is a historical measure and may not fully capture the future risk and return characteristics of an asset. Other factors, such as company-specific information, industry dynamics, and macroeconomic conditions, should also be considered when assessing the risk-return trade-off. Additionally, investors should be aware of the limitations of beta and consider it in conjunction with other risk measures and fundamental analysis when evaluating investments. Analyzing investments based on their beta values and expected returns involves assessing the relationship between an asset's systematic risk, as represented by beta, and its potential returns. This analysis helps investors evaluate whether the expected returns adequately compensate for the level of risk associated with an investment. Here's a step-by-step approach to analyzing investments using beta values and expected returns. Determine beta values. Obtain the beta values for the investments you wish to analyze. Beta can be found through various sources, such as financial websites, research reports, or by using statistical methods like regression analysis. Beta values indicate the asset's sensitivity to market movements. Assess expected returns. Evaluate the expected returns for each investment. This can be based on factors such as historical performance, fundamental analysis, expert opinions, or market forecasts. Expected returns provide an estimation of the potential gains or losses an investment may generate. Evaluate risk-return trade-off. Compare the beta values of the investments with their expected returns to assess the risk-return trade-off. A higher beta indicates higher systematic risk, implying potential for higher returns but also higher volatility. Conversely, a lower beta suggests lower systematic risk, potentially resulting in lower returns but with lower volatility. Consider risk preferences. Take into account your risk preferences and investment objectives. Determine the level of risk you are willing to tolerate and the desired level of potential returns. This will help you assess whether the risk-return profile of each investment aligns with your risk appetite, analyze risk-adjusted returns, calculate risk-adjusted returns to account for the level of systematic risk associated with each investment. One commonly used metric for risk-adjusted returns is the Sharpe ratio, which measures the excess return earned per unit of risk, typically measured by standard deviation or beta. Higher Sharpe ratios indicate better risk-adjusted performance. Compare against benchmarks. Compare the beta-adjusted returns and risk-adjusted returns of the investments against relevant benchmarks, such as market indices or peer groups. This comparison can provide insights into how the investments have performed relative to their systematic risk and the broader market. Consider other factors. While beta and expected returns are important considerations, they should not be the sole factors in investment analysis. Assess other factors such as company fundamentals, industry dynamics, competitive landscape, and macroeconomic conditions to gain a comprehensive understanding of the investment's potential risks and returns. Make informed decisions, based on the analysis of beta values, expected returns, risk-adjusted returns, and other relevant factors. Make informed investment decisions. Consider diversifying your portfolio by incorporating investments with different risk-return profiles to manage overall risk. Remember that beta is based on historical data and may not fully capture future risk and return dynamics. It's important to conduct thorough research and analysis, and consider the limitations of beta as a risk measure. Consulting with a financial advisor or investment professional can provide valuable insights and guidance in analyzing investments based on their beta values and expected returns.